Hello, welcome to Essence Educational GMAT Plus. I'm Zeyu, the CEO of the company and also the GMAT teacher. Today, I will tell you how to get 750 or more in the GMAT. Firstly, why you should get at least 700 in GMAT. The MBA programs last for at least 1 year and normally 2 years, and they are quite expensive. Therefore, it is a big investment in terms of money and time. From my personal perspective, only the most prestigious MBA programs are worthy of the money and the time. Therefore, I do recommend that you go to these MBA programs, and thus, you should get at least 700 in GMAT. For those who want to go to the very best ones like Harvard or UChicago booths, ideally you should get 750 or more in GMAT. Yes, their average score is something around 730. That is because they recruit students with very special experiences, such as starting 2 companies with 1 failure and 1 huge success, or participating in an NGO program in Africa for 5 years, and so on. For these applicants, their GMAT scores contain less weights. However, if you have normal work experiences, such as working as a consultant, investment banker, and so on, I do recommend that you get 750 or more in the GMAT in order to be competitive. Then, how do you get 700 plus in GMAT? Traditionally, GMAT teaching emphasizes tricks and question types. These approaches can help you maximum get 650, but not enough for you to get 700 plus, as GMAT is getting more and more flexible these days. The only valid approach is to come to the essence, i.e. use GMAT as a springboard to learn logic and rational thinking. Let's start with reading comprehension. Some may think reading comprehension has nothing to do with logic. I will show you that to get a high score, it has everything to do with logic. Normally when students come to my class, they cannot finish the reading comprehension questions in time and fail half of the questions. There are 2 reasons behind this. First, it is a language problem. Although GMAT is not a language test, it assumes that your English, especially the reading speed, is as good as university undergraduate in the US. Thus, if your English basis is not solid, you should work on both the vocabulary and the long sentences. GMAT asks for around 12,000 vocabularies, 4,000 in addition to TOEFL or IELTS. How to memorize these words? I suggest you memorize English vocabularies via association. That is how our brain works. For example, husband. This is a simple word. And then you should learn the root of a word, okay? Band. Band means connection, as a husband is basically a man who has a connection with a woman, okay? So band means connection. It also means boundary. So then from this root of a word, we can learn an advanced word, abundant. ANT at the end is called a suffix. This shows that this word is an adjective. Bond means the boundary. A is called a prefix, means not. Okay, so this word means you have no boundary. That's why it actually means a lot of, because no boundary means no restrictions. And that's exactly the meaning of abundant. For my students, I will provide them with a list of these 4,000 vocabularies, each with a memorizing method, so that they can memorize them very quickly in a short period of time. The second language barrier for you is called long sentences. Any sentence in GMAT that you have to read it twice or more times in order to understand it is a long sentence for you. Okay, it's too slow for you in the reading comprehension. Therefore, I suggest that you write down these sentences in a notebook and review them on the daily basis, such that you get extremely familiar with them. So when you write sentences, you write long sentences. Okay, then you really improve the English reading speed. However, only improving the language basis is not enough. In GMAT, you have 5 minutes to read the long passage and approximately 1 minute per question afterwards. Many students cannot recall the content they read and thus need to go back to the passage to reread for most of the questions. Then it is almost impossible for them to finish the question in time. How to solve this? The answer lies in logic. Think about it. If you can memorize 100% of the content of the passage, do you need to reread? Of course not. Then the next question is how to memorize majority of the content of the passage. As I said before, our memory works well through association, like the vocabulary. My approach is to find out the logical tree of the passage. These trees serve as the tool of association that links all details of the passage together. Through training, most of my students find the reading comprehension the easiest in GMAT verbal and can get nearly 100% correct in reading comprehension. The next is critical reasoning. Many students rely on their feeling to solve them. It is therefore not strange that they cannot get a consistent high score in critical reasoning. I recommend that you first learn formal logic, knowledge such as analogical reasoning, abduction, method of difference, and so on. Then once you can analyze the logical tree of the paragraph and then identify the type of the reasoning, then solving critical reasoning questions is very much like solving math problems. You can easily get 100% correct there. For sentence correction, many institutions design strange rules that is true in some occasions, but not in some others. I will provide you with hundreds of well-verified grammatical rules and idioms to help you get 90% correct in sentence correction. Yes, 90% correct, not 100%. Even I cannot get 100% correct in sentence correction because I cannot memorize all the idioms in English. The same for you. Your goal is not to become a linguist. However, if you do well in the other parts, 90% is well enough for you to get more than 750 in GMAT. Lastly, for the maths. If you study maths in mainland China, normally you have a good basis. My suggestion is that you should not underestimate the maths in GMAT. Nowadays, the GMAT has more and more counting method and probability, and thus, many Chinese students find it difficult to get full score in maths. For Chinese, losing point in GMAT maths is really a pity. In our class, we will focus on the difficult part, and I will teach you 3 strategies, part of mathematical philosophy, i.e. how a mathematician thinks in order to solve problems. These 3 strategies will help you solve 100% math problems in GMAT. For those who study maths in Hong Kong, UK, US, Canada, and so on, normally your math basis is not very solid. No worry, I will send you a book I wrote covering all the math content in GMAT. Each question there is solved via the 3 strategies above mentioned. Learning GMAT via logic and rational thinking will help you not only in GMAT, but also in your life and work. I will also share many of my personal hardships and experiences throughout the classes. Trust me, you will learn much more than GMAT. Some students, with the help of the class, find out decent jobs in investment banks such as Goldman Sachs, Credit Suisse, HSBC, and so on, and consulting firms. Even though they are not from the target schools, some others go to the top universities in my class. 90% of the students in my class get 700 or more in the GMAT. Thanks very much for watching this video. Contact with me today and get 3-hour class for free. Thank you.